Hello and welcome to today's r/Tales from Tech Support, where a Karen demands to delete her account and the next day calls back and complains why her website is down. The next Reddit story is from the Reddit user The Bonustist. Oh, Nancy. I do database/server administration for a relatively large application. My job description is a little fuzzy, so people, developers, testers, and users, tend to ask me for help when they hit a wall and they're just not sure who else to ask. I get an email this morning from a middle manager, we'll call him Kyle, that one of his users is having trouble logging in. When users log in, they put in their username and password, then it takes them to a second page where they put in a security code, either from an MFA authenticator app if they have that set up, or else they click a link and get the code in their email. Apparently this lady, we'll call her Nancy, is not receiving the email. Kyle says he has been manually overriding the security code so that she's been able to get logged in and work. First of all, I do a double take, because I didn't realize that was something he was able to do, and it's more than a little concerning. But I put that on the mental back burner and start looking at this security code issue. Nancy's account looks okay, it's only a week old, and it has an email address associated to it. I check the email logs and there are no emails to her address. So it's not that the emails with the codes aren't sending, they aren't even getting generated and queued. Next I check the security code logs. Sure enough, there are no entries associated with her account. Now I start to get the creeping sense of dread that I know exactly what the problem is. See, I don't like to assume that when a user has an issue, it's because they're doing something wrong. I feel like that makes people feel dumb, and that's the easiest way to get on their bad side. It doesn't help that I'm going through middle management, because in addition to offending the user, I run the risk of offending him for overlooking something simple. So I look through some more logs, I dig through the code for the login page. I try it myself and check the result. I don't want to believe it's something so obvious, but the only conclusion I can come up with is that Nancy just isn't actually clicking the link to generate a security code at all. So I type out an email as carefully and diplomatically as I can explaining this. I hit send and then I don't get much work done for the next 20 minutes while I anxiously await an angry response. Kyle responds, "This was indeed the issue. Apologies for not catching that myself." I sigh with relief, then laugh out loud. Sometimes users can be dumb, but at least some of them are nice about it. Update: so apparently what he did was not actually override it, but he got Nancy to give him her one-time password key, which he put into his authenticator app to get a code, and whenever she needed to log in he would just email her the code. Definitely a facepalm don't do that moment, but at least he doesn't have elevated permissions by accident or something. Down in the comment below another Reddit user with a similar experience says, "You can forgive a lot if they apologize for an oversight. I had something similar with an IT admin who was making a fuss about their users not being able to log in with SSO. But after an hour of troubleshooting, he finally mailed back to us apologizing. Those users were actually part of an external division that doesn't even use the same IT infrastructure as the company does, so they didn't even have an account for the system they wanted to get into." The next story is from the Reddit user GoatWomble. Delete my account now. This story took place about 6 years ago, and it was my second week into a new job with a web hosting company. I'd taken a call from a customer, we'll call her Karen, about some problem with the hosting service she had with us. I took a look and determined that whilst there was an issue, the fault lay with her CMS and wasn't anything we would fix. I'm sorry Karen, the issue is to do with WordPress, and unfortunately we can't assist with fixing this. However, I can send you some links which may help you fix it, or you can ask your developer to look into it further. Karen: That's not good enough. I'm paying you $10 a month and I expect you to fix problems like this, not tell me to go away and deal with it myself. I'm sorry you feel that way, however that $10 pays for the server space. We'll gladly help fix anything server-side that's interfering with the proper operation of your site, but we're not responsible for the software itself. Well, if you're not going to fix it, just delete my effing account right now. Okay, I can do that, but it may be easier. Stop arguing with me, delete my account. Clearly my $10 a month means nothing to you. Go on, hurry up and terminate my account if you don't value me as a customer. I can do that for you. Before I do, I need to ask if you have a backup of your data, as once I process this it's gone for good. No, just delete my account now. I expect an email telling me it's done. She'd hung up, and I sat there wondering what to do. I thought about sitting on it, but she was quite clear in her instructions: delete her account. Karen had already run through the identity verification questions and had demanded, a cancellation. I took a backup of her account as insurance, and processed the termination. I also created a ticket, with appropriate notes and emailing Karen to tell her that her termination request had been taken care of. I went home not long after that, but the next day I came into work and was immediately called and speak to the manager. It turned out that Karen was notorious for this shit. She'd demand we do things beyond our scope, and scream and cry and threaten until someone said okay, we'll do it. She'd gotten used to other staff members doing whatever she demanded that she expected we bend over backwards. If she ever heard the word no, she'd threaten to cancel and go elsewhere. It seemed that other reps had just fixed whatever problem in order to stop her tantrums and get rid of her. I was the first in a long time to tell her no, and the only one who had ever followed through on actually terminating her account. Manager, you're not in trouble, don't worry. You did everything correctly. I've had Karen on the phone all morning squawking about her website. Oh, by the way, did you happen to take a backup of her account? Me, yep, it's on my computer. Manager, delete it and pretend it never existed. And that's the story of how I destroyed Karen's business website. Oh wow, I believe this is the most satisfying ending. Also, we have to say bravo to the manager that just said delete it and pretend it never existed. That's how every person that is being an a-hole to someone should be treated. The next story is from the Reddit user Notizer. Wait? The internet needs power to work? Have you not heard of wireless? Long-time lurker, first post. Got plenty of stories, so I'll start off simple and work my way up to crazy. This is a classic. I think plenty of you first-line techs out there have had this one. Me, IT Notizer speaking. How can I help this morning? Gosh, I'm so nice. Was in a good mood this particular morning till after this. Karen, help, we have no internet. Me, alright, let me see what I can do. Which site are you at? Karen, gives me her info and can you hurry up please? Okay, yeah, I can see your internet's out. Have you had any work done at site or anyone messed with the equipment? No, we don't ever go in the server room. Okay, good. I'ma need you to head in there and do some checks with me. Fine, but make it quick. Okay, first would you be able to send me a picture of your site's network setup so I can see what you're looking at? Yeah, I know that's dumb, but this particular customer has so many different sites and work with like 4 ISPs. Each site's setup can be so different to another's. We found it's so much easier to get a picture from them. Okay, I can send it, but it might be a bit dark. Why is that? Are there any lights in the room? Yes, but the power's out. Me, alright, I go on to explain how it needs power to work. Karen, but we have Wi-Fi, which means wireless, right? Yes, that's true. I explain how Wi-Fi works. Oh, I thought it was just a coincidence that the internet went when the power did. Right. So will you fix the power please? Sorry Karen, we don't deal with that. But you're IT, that's why I rang you. And now you tell me you can't help. Wait, did you ring me because the power was out, or to fix the internet? Both. At this point I'd run out of energy to question further. Okay Karen, the first I'm going to put you through to your internal property department. Have a nice day. Click. Then I proceed to go into the bathroom and cry for 40 solid minutes. I was nosy, so I asked someone a bit nicer at the site why the power was out. They said one of their drivers drove straight into the power box. I don't know what it is with these drivers. Do they specifically aim at the power boxes? Because this happens at least once a week with this customer. Down in the comments below, the Reddit user Turtle Rabbit wrote, while you're fixing the internet and power, be sure to repair the damage on the truck as well. And the driver has a sore neck, so give him a quick neck massage too. The next story is from the Reddit user Oh Goody. User thinks that the computer should know who is using it without logging in. I work for a place where my primary assignment is not IT, however, because of my background in IT and the lack of IT actually showing up most times, I am usually called upon for these services. Well, this happened a few days ago. I arrived for work to see an employee who usually works at another building across town. I rarely see him, so I was surprised that he was there. He is known for his lack of knowledge when it comes to techie anything. So, he is sitting in the back room, where we have a system set up for anyone in the company to use if they decide to work back there for whatever reason. So, he is sitting there, tapping away at the keyboard. I notice he is on the web looking stuff up for research for an upcoming presentation he is giving. I sit down at the other end of the table, get out my laptop and start working. Well, about 5 minutes goes by, he looks at me and says, I think we have a major problem with this computer. I ask him what the issue is. He explains, well, anything I am saving is not saving to my network drive, it is saving to Amanda's network drive. I look at him, and ask, Well, did you sign in as your? He says, no, it was signed in already and shows Amanda's name. So, I tell him, yes Steve, you have to log out of her profile since she forgot to log out and you have to log in as you. He looks at me all confused and says, that makes no sense to me, I am the one using the computer now, it should save stuff to my network drive. I explain that since it is still signed in under Amanda's login, that is where anything saved will go to, and again tell him to log out and sign in under him. He is still confused, but logs out of the current profile, logs in under him and tries it again. Well, what do you know, it saves it to his network drive and now shows his name. I then again explain to him that in order to see his network drive when he uses the system he needs to log in as him. He states again that he does not understand why that is. He said all he knows is that it should know he is using the computer when he sits down to it. I did not explain anything further. I just grabbed my laptop and went to work somewhere else, wishing him a great day on the way out. What? The computer doesn't know who is using it? That does not make any sense to me. But to be honest, I would love to hear his explanation why the computer should understand who is using it, and if he knew how a computer could understand who is using it. But if I was you, I would have made at least one comment about what he said. Thanks for watching today's video. If you liked the video you watched, you can subscribe to my channel and like the video for more Reddit videos.